Hey, Pepin.
Yo, yo.
You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about how to talk.
How to talk?
Yeah, just like how do you start talking?
Start talking about what?
Just to people in general. Like, what do you know? What do you know what do you talk? What do you say in words?
Well, first, I think you kind of look at them and kind of see where they're from. Like, try to get like the idea of their history.
Oh, so guess their
history.
race. So right off, I'm like, Chinese. That's a good starter.
No, no. Steve, we need to talk.
Welcome back. So glad you guys can join us. I am here once again with my best friend, Nathan Pepin. How's it going, Pepin?
First, I'm doing well, but second, I want to make sure that the fans know. Or do we have fans?
Yes.
Yes.
Literally thousands.
Thousands. Okay. I want to make sure that they know when I mean their family history, I mean like where they come from, where they grew up, how they interact with society as a whole. Not the color of their skin, but the color of their heart.
Oh, that's beautiful, Nate. Wow.
Red, pink, bloody.
Depends how much nicotine they've had. Could be black and disgusting.
You know, I'm not sure if that's the real thing, but apparently it's a real thing. It's like, I don't know. They show pictures like, this is your lungs, like on cigarettes, and this is like healthy pair of lungs. And I'm like, yeah, they're brown, but I'm not sure if that means it's bad necessarily. I mean, yeah, it looks nasty, but lungs look nasty in general. Maybe they're healthier lungs.
Oh, no, Nate. I think that one's pretty clear cut, but... So conversation starters. Yeah. There's a website called conversationstarters.com, and on there, they have a conversation starter generator, which just gives you a random question that conversationstarters.com believes is a great opening to start a conversation.
Okay.
Now, can you do me a favor and define to you what to you a conversation is? Because, like, if I say, what color is this soda can, and you say red, is that a conversation? Now, to play devil's advocate here, and I'm going to play both sides of this fence simultaneously, is conversationstarters.com may say, well, you start with that question and then you build upon it from there. And like you're saying, you know, it depends. A closed-ended question could be a conversation starter, but you have to add more into it. If I say, what color is this can? You say red. I say, interesting. What do you think about the fact that maybe the red you see and the red I see are two completely different colors, and we'll never be able to actually explain that to each other? That can start a conversation. And this could have been the very abstract way that I start the conversation. But I guess my point would be conversationstarters.com needs to know that if I'm going to conversationstarters.com to find a question to start a conversation, it needs the whole package. It doesn't need to be the opening question and then I have to figure it out from there. I think the whole idea of finding a question that is on a website to start a conversation is that it has more to it than me having to make stuff up after somebody answers a question.
So are we criticizing them or are we sponsored by them? That's what I'm confused about.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go and I'm just going to hit generate another random topic. It's a big orange button. And every time it comes up with a new question, I'm going to read it and we're going to have a conversation about it. And then we're going to rate that question based on some abstract criteria that we make up. How good of a conversation starter is it? Is this one, and what situations would you use this in? Would you use it on a date? Would you use it with your friends? Would you use it at a family gathering with extended family you don't see very often? So a random stranger on the bus? what situations would you not feel comfortable using it, or would you feel comfortable using it?
I see. So I might be pretty good about judging on this criteria because I, for work, have to start many conversations, like a lot of small talk that we have to initiate. And so I'll be pretty critical here.
Perfect. So let's start right up with the first question that is showing up right here. What is your middle name?
Andrew.
James.
James?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like the King James Bible?
Exactly like that. Actually, my dad's first name is James, and his middle name is Donald, and his dad's first name is Donald. So it's kind of a family tradition that goes back. So in theory, my firstborn son's middle name would be Stephen.
In theory, though. So are you going to stick to the family tradition here? Are you going to stay with it?
I would need a firstborn son first. So let's put the cart first, then I can follow with a horse.
So I could help you out with that. I know this girl. She is willing to have sex for money.
Okay, yeah, we're on track.
I'm not sure if she requires a condom or not, but I can find out. She might just be a little extra. Not sure if she's on birth control, but I'm sure you could figure out an arrangement.
Yeah, I got a whole pack of Pez I can use to replace her birth control. She'll never know. I think that's against the law. So, how do you rate this question? I mean, this is a pretty open and closed question, unless somebody has a crazy middle name or a story behind it.
So this question is not a conversation starter because usually going to names when you're trying to start a conversation is not a very good idea because names are a little bit personal. Like if I go up to someone on the street and say, "Hey, yeah, what's your last name?" People don't like that. People don't like revealing their names.
What's your first and last name and address and social security number?
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you know someone and you're kind of friends with them already, it's a conversation starter for that.
So this is a more intimate conversation starter.
Yeah. Like if me and you are just hanging out and it's like, "Hey, Steve, what's your last name?" Like, "Oh, it's James." Like that's a conversation we could have.
Yeah.
It's not like a first date question though.
And just to be clear, this conversationstarters.com, not our sponsor, but could be. They don't say, this is the situation, use it, and this isn't the situation. But again, I'm going to stand by the fact that if you're going to conversationstarters.com to find a conversation starter, it should be pretty universal. You shouldn't be like, here's a conversation starter for somebody really intimate with you. Like, you shouldn't have to figure out what context to use it, and they should be universal, in my opinion.
It's a very strong opinion.
And my opinion's right. So we'll move on to the next one, because I agree with you. Have you ever been in any YouTube videos?
Well, kind of. I mean, I was in that one, like you had a video back in the day with Matt Drew where he was singing. I think you were kind of there, but I think he was mostly just singing, and I was like in a chair in the background, just kind of there. It's a little quality video, and you can kind of make me out, kind of not, but it's a little hard to say. But yeah, I've been in that one. I was also in a few videos where I'm playing guitar, but people don't really care about those.
You were in the Festival of Lights video where you were playing guitar as well. Remember when we did that submission?
Oh yeah,
and we won that contest.
Yeah,
we got to meet Simple Plan, and then we didn't go.
We won that?
Yeah, we won that.
Really?
Yeah. With a parody, and then we had to take down the parody because it was offensive.
I mean, it was offensive, but that's why it was funny.
I like Dick. I like Dick Carnival. And we posted that, and we won the competition. And then we just did a straight cover.
All right. Now, you were doing a lot of YouTube videos back in the day. I actually watched them a lot. It was actually with your sister to begin with. I think you started doing one more solo projects, but it's Meader and Joannis. Joannis has been on the podcast a couple of times. It's actually Steve's sister. And there was one series called The Dance Machine, which I just found hilarious.
Yeah, that was a pretty popular one. There's actually a playlist on Meader and Joannis on if you just put in Meader Dance Machine into YouTube, you'll find it. You'll find all our videos there. I privated some because looking back on them, they're really bad. But I also have a new YouTube channel too that just I do, and I have a couple of different series on there. One of them is Cooking Today, where I just do a cooking segment. And then another one's Office Tip and Trick, where I just give tips and tricks of how to use different office tools like a stapler and a printer. And it's really informative. I also do some unboxings. I did one unboxing of cereal.
I meant to look this up. I forgot. Like, I don't know. But I need to look this up again because...
So I've been in a couple of YouTube videos.
It's hilarious. Unboxing cereal.
So what, how do you rank that question? That kind of seems like a personal one too. Like, would you just ask a random stranger, you been in any YouTube videos? Can I look you up? Can I look up video of you in the future?
So let's say you're walking down the street and you see Logan Paul.
Okay.
That's a question to ask him.
Is that two different guys or?
Logan Paul?
Logan and Paul, who are they?
I think I don't really know who Logan Paul is, but I think he tased a dead rat or something, and people got mad about him, and then people made all the videos about him. So, yeah, I don't really know who he is. Or
good example.
Yeah, if you see someone who kind of looks like they might be a YouTuber, maybe you ask him. But
my brother swears he sees JonTron all the time at a craft store.
He has a very typical look. Like he's very generic looking.
I don't agree. I think he's very very distinguishable. And I guess he's always wearing sunglasses, and some girl is there with him, and she is buying all the stuff, and she uses her card. So because I'm always like, well, look at his credit card when he pays. Like, what's the name on the card? Or like snap a picture of him or something. I want to know if it's him. I would go right up to him and be like, hey, are you JonTron? Hey, John, I love your videos. And then walk away. Like, be cool about it. But like, I need to know. So maybe I'll just stalk that craft store and see if it's him.
Something I learned is that there's different like cultures with approaching celebrities. Mm-hmm. Like if you're in New York City, I guess you just like approach them because everyone's like an asshole there.
Okay.
But I was hearing that in Nashville, it's kind of unspoken culture, like, or unspoken law, where celebrities, they'll be out on the street and stuff, but you don't talk to them. You don't say anything to them. Mm. You just let them do their thing because that's just how it is there.
Mm. Yeah, I think Trailer Park Boys did a thing, and they were in Nashville, and Alex Lifeson from Rush was just standing on the sidewalk, just like playing music. And like people were just walking past like it was nothing. And then they went up and like there was a whole interaction and stuff, but like they were like everybody acted like it was nothing. Now maybe that was part of the set or whatever, but they didn't look like extras. They just seemed like they were just filming on the sidewalk to me.
Yeah.
So again, how do you rank this question?
I think you have to. It's very specific, and if you can judge someone to be maybe more creative or in that sense, like maybe, but it's not a good question. No, it's not a good question.
Okay, I agree. Are you a spender or a saver?
That's not a good question.
That's not at all. Like, let me ask you about your financial habits. Good to meet you. Hey, do you save money or spend it?
Yeah, I mean, that's even a question that's not really. You don't really ask that of like your good friends either. I mean,
no,
you might, but it's like I don't know.
Well, you and I talk about financial stuff all the time.
I talk with friends about financial stuff, but it's like just because it's one of my interests. But I know not to cross that line or not to talk about that with other people because it's not something they're interested in, or it's not something where they feel comfortable talking about it. Because
money makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Let's go to another one. What's your least favorite part of your day? But yeah, let's go with the most negative thing you can possibly think of. Like, hey, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? What part of your day makes you hate yourself?
I think it's kind of waking up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That part's awful.
Yeah. Well, I got some issues with like insomnia, but insomnia is also paired with like waking up early. Like, a lot of times I wake up at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and it's a hard time getting back to sleep. So if I wake up then, if the sun's out, I have blackout curtains in my room. Even then, like, if the sun's out, I'm not getting back to sleep, or I'm getting very minimal sleep with that. So Probably the morning is just a hassle.
Yeah.
I assume your worst part of your day is when you have to take a shit. Maybe I don't know.
No, the mornings are pretty rough. I don't like waking up, but I have an alarm that goes off at 5 a.m. and then another one that goes off at 6 that I hit snooze on 4 times and then I wake up.
Yeah.
Because my brain takes a really long time to boot up. And then once it finally does, like it needs like a primer, and then it needs like a very slow ascent into reality, and then I can get up and be okay. And I have to shower, otherwise I'm just a mess. So that's a pretty rough time.
Yeah, the showering does help out. The shower does help out a lot. I find myself as well.
Is this a good question?
I would say maybe. I mean,
I'm gonna say no. Like, I don't think you should lead with questions that are like have a negative implication. Like you're outright saying, tell me something negative. Like that doesn't leave people with good feelings.
but at the same time, you can both kind of relate to each other with the negative aspects. I mean, like a conversation starter I use a lot is like I was at the gym today, and there's a small little bench that in the changing room. That's all there is. And so I was trying to get dressed there, and a guy came in, and he kind of needed to use it, so I kind of like moved over a bit. And he's like, "Oh, it's okay, man." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm so tired today. I don't know, I just can't wake up." He's like, "Yeah, same here, man." And we started, kind of bitching about how tired we were. So we use.
I feel like that's a little different though. Like I get what you're saying, in that it was kind of like a negative thing in a way.
Yeah.
But I think that's more you saying, here's an emotion I'm feeling, and him being able to relate to that emotion versus saying, tell me something negative, which to me is just a bad opening for a conversation.
Yeah. I suppose that's how you answer too, but yeah, I think you're mostly right.
What's the least happy part of your day? Like, I don't know. I don't like it myself. So far, I haven't liked any of them though, so.
Nice to meet ya. It's me. Yep, in the horns, baby. Come on. Say my name. Dare ya? Double, no, triple dog dare ya. I'm a good judge of character, usually, but gotta admit, wouldn't have pegged you for a pussy. Your kind scares too easily. Guess you don't want these front row seats, talking real VIP shit, to the end of the world, huh? Gonna be the greatest show in the universe. Buckeye, Texas. Ground zero for the biggest, baddest, most epic takedown in human history. You thought the flood was bad? Please. That's rookie shit. You ain't seen nothing. Weapon of choice? Geminis. Cross a werepanther with a gargoyle and throw in some Lovecraftian spice for good measure. Pure cosmic flying badassness. One pissed off pussy and his vixen mate. And who are they pissed off at and ready to enslave and slaughter? Ha, you good old folks. That's who. Not to mention the 12 zodiac tribes. But you ain't interested, are ya? 'Cause you're a pussy. Huh? You and the Geminis have something in common. If you ever grow a set, check out the audio drama Paladin Cycle on fictionforadults.com.
Awesome. What's the longest you've gone without showering?
Since when? Like, that's a vague
the question, Nate. That's the whole question.
I wasn't really counting back.
I went several years when I was a baby. I think I took mostly baths. So like 0 to 4. I don't know. How old are you when you shower?
I don't know. I've always been kind of a shower person, but I know that my mom, like, she's a shower person too, and she would take us into the shower when we were like able to walk or something. One thing I can't figure out though is like how I don't have any memory of that. Like, I have certain memories of when I was like small and stuff, but I have no memory of being in the shower with my mom. I mean, thankfully not. That'd be terrible. But it's like you think someone might have a memory of that, but no one ever does. Like,
I have memory of showering with my dad.
I could see that a little more, but how old were you?
I don't know. Young.
Okay. I mean,
It was like 2 or 3 years ago. That's I don't know if that's an appropriate question for like starting a conversation with most people. Like, what's the smelliest you've ever been? Like,
I'm like one of those people who are very anal about my hygiene, especially like showering. I had a time where I forgot my shampoo and towel and change of underwear, and I had just worked out and had to go to work after, and there's no way to get back to work or get back to change or whatever or shower. So I went to work and I felt like the grossest person ever. Now,
yeah.
No one said that I smelled. Everyone's just like, yeah, Nate, you smell fine. We can't even smell you. Because I keep up with my hygiene. But just the way I felt, like, I just felt like the dirtiest, scummiest person alive.
So you like this question?
No. I think it's a little bit of a strange question. Also, I think it brings in potential conflict because this is maybe not a bad question if you're kind of working with a few people and you're not going to know each other for that long. So it's like I was covering over at a place for work, and there's a few people we didn't quite know, and trying to get to know them a little bit. And one of the girls asked a question, like, "You think this is weird? Like my friend's boyfriend will just pick up clothing off the ground and smell it to see if it's clean, and if it smells clean, he'll wear it. If it smells dirty, he'll wash it. Is that weird?" And it's a decent conversation starter because, us two guys that were there were like, "No, that's not weird. I mean, that's just what we do."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I do.
For the most part, I'm pretty good about not letting clothing be on the floor. But if it's on the floor, especially like underwear, like I'll be like, "Is this clean?" No. Or I'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is totally clean."
What did you have for dinner last night? It's fucking questions, man. We may have to jump websites here in a minute.
Yeah, that's not a bad question.
I don't know. It's pretty close ended.
So this is like just a casual conversation. Like, let's say that you're like let's say that you go to a bank or something, and you're like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" Blah 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 blah. No, it's not a good question.
So Nate, what'd you have for dinner last night?
That's a great question. I had some chicken. So
now it's a great question.
Chicken. Yep. What else did I have? Peas. So I've been trying to increase my vegetables. So I had like 3 cups of peas.
I can hear it in your voice.
What does that mean?
3 cups of peas?
Yeah, 3 cups.
Jealous.
And I also had, was it potatoes? No, it was mac and cheese. So I bought a bunch of mac and cheese, like one of those big packs, and
you're holding your hand like 3 feet wide.
It was a pretty big pack there.
Jesus.
And
that's 1 pack?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not that big, but it lasted me a little too long, and I kind of stopped eating it because I got kind of annoyed with it. But then I realized I had one of those like mac and cheese bowls, so I'm like, okay, I'll just do this because it's quick. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a very good question.
Oh, what did you eat last night for dinner?
I had leftover spaghetti. That's it.
Oh, that's very exciting. Leftover spaghetti. No meat in there?
No.
I mean, you need some meat.
No.
Yeah.
Just leftover spagoot.
Have you gone like vegetarian?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't feel like cooking any meatballs. I have them too. I just didn't feel like cooking them.
Man, it's kind of strange. I don't know. What's wrong with you?
So much. What's the biggest life change you've gone through?
What the fuck?
Well, Nate, you got to answer now.
That's not a good conversation. That's a little too deep there. I mean, that's like you go in for small talk and you start asking this person what they want to do with their lives and what they did in the life.
Like, hey, what'd you have for dinner last night? Also, what's the biggest life change that's ever happened to you? Back to back on these ones.
Or it's like, what's your biggest regret? Okay.
Biggest life change, puberty.
I think my biggest life change was becoming independent and doing my own thing. And it's been the best life change. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh man, I hate this word, but adulting sucks. Paying bills, blah 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 blah. And it's like, no, this is great. I have control. I can eat what I want. I can go to sleep when I want. I can do like anything I want essentially. There's responsibilities, but the responsibility is more liberating than anything else. I mean, having to be dependent upon someone for those things, that's a risk. So it's like my one major gripe with people, especially adults. I'm an adult, but like people who consider like there's like you're still like a child to them. It's like, yeah, welcome to the real world, buddy. With those bills, like you can't bitch about anything like to certain people because it's like, oh man, I just got this medical bill in, sucks. And it's like, yeah, welcome to the real world. We have to pay bills. Yeah, take that. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. It sucks. It sucks that I got a bill. Can't we just like say it sucks? I'm not complaining about adulting or life. I know it happens, but it's like I just have to pay some money here. It sucks.
Those are the people who don't know how to like actually relate with someone because they agree, but their response is, yeah, well, I have to deal with it too. Like, yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up so that we can both agree that it sucks. Like, work with me here. Yeah. Biggest life. Yeah, so this isn't a good question either.
I mean, complaining about taxes as well. Like, I had to pay like a tax bill like the other day, or not the other day, like a year ago or something. I had to pay like a decent tax bill, and I was like, fuck, man, the fucking government takes my money.
Taxation is theft.
And it's like, well, welcome to the adulthood, where you pay taxes. I'm like, yeah, I understand how this works. I'm not blindsided. It just sucks. I had paid money to the government. It sucks.
It does suck. You're right. And Ron Paul's there for you.
Like you're saying, just relate to me. But like, yeah, man, I had to pay this tax bill. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Or you could be like, well, at least it's going to a good place. Like, say something like that. Like, but don't say, like, yeah, this is
welcome to the real world, bitch.
It's like, fuck you.
All right. Would you rather be the smartest moron or the dumbest genius? So
I want to know your take on this because this is a strange question.
They're the same thing.
How so?
Because so if you're saying that this is based on IQ, which genius I say implies that, moron would be the lowest end and genius would be the highest end. So if you're the smartest on the lowest end or the dumbest on the highest end, that means you're in the middle. So therefore, mathematically, they're the same thing.
I guess. I mean, that's a way to get out of it. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
so what's your take, Nate?
Well, I don't really have an answer because it's kind of tough. I think I'd rather be like intelligent, but also kind of daft than unintelligent and then not daft. Because I feel like if I'm intelligent, I can realize the daftness with some work and, work on myself. Whereas if you're not intelligent, it's like that effect where you don't know you're not intelligent. So, or you might realize on some level, but there's no way to go up to that.
You know how like in TV shows, when there's that really dumb character who that's their whole role is to be the dumb character, but then like that one time they say something like super smart, and they don't even realize what they're saying is smart. I think that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of stuff from time to time. There's an instance of, I mean, this is the other end, but there's this kid that we grew up with, and he was the smartest kid in our school. I mean, like probably on IQ level, he's taking like all these crazy math classes like that were in college when he was like a sophomore and so on. And he did wrestling as well. I mean, he quit eventually, but he did wrestling for a while. And he would do a lot of dumb things like be like hop on the scale, and he would like actually like hop on the scale, like hop. And people got like super pissed at him because like, no, you're gonna break the scale if you do that. Don't like they got all worried.
Like doing it just to piss people off?
No, like he just wasn't like very intelligent guy, but he didn't interpret the question as being. He interpreted the question as being literal, not. And that's an issue that some people have. I know it's kind of related to autism a lot of times. Like you can't sense sarcasm as much or nuance. You always kind of assume someone's being literal when they ask something. So that might be part of it, but it's also just kind of not being very aware. But there's a show on the other end where it's like, have you ever seen An Idiot Abroad?
Yes.
So there's the character there, or he's a real person, but his name is Carl Pilkington, and Carl is not the brightest bulb in the sack.
Well said.
But he is very, the way he says things and talks about things, it's very intelligent, like not purposely, but he has such a unique take on things where it comes out like kind of poetry sometimes. And it's like you could maybe think he's extremely smart, but he's also like this dumbest, like some of the stuff he says is like so dumb. Like
so that's what you want to be, the smartest moron.
No, I want to be the most intelligent, smartest moron. I think Carl Pilkington had one thing where it's like he was saying he doesn't know what the problem is with global warming, because if the ice caps are melting, that's just going to cool off the ocean, which problem solved. It's like you put ice into a drink, the drink gets colder. So what's the issue?
Well, that's fair. I thought you were saying it'll make the oceans rise, killing all the humans, and then the problem solved.
Problem solved.
Except for those boat people. If you could acquire any skills, what would you choose? That's singular, sorry, skill. What one skill would you acquire if you could just get that skill like that?
So I think the one skill I would probably learn would be kind of perseverance. There's a lot of research to indicate that how do you say exactly, perseverance or kind of sticking through something and continuing when it's tough is one of the main predictors of success. So anyone who's good in the field, they're good because they stick with what they're doing. They keep studying, keep doing this. Whereas the people who kind of like start off a little bit good, but then they kind of drop off, when it starts getting kind of difficult, those are the people who don't make the top of the list, or they kind of become mediocre or lesser than that. So I think perseverance would be the main thing, but that's also combining my other kind of inherent skills of I don't want to put it this way, but I have a decent brain. My brain it picks up things pretty quickly. Like my intelligence is pretty good, so that combined with perseverance is good.
Absolutely.
What I lack is the perseverance a lot of times, because it's like I pick up things pretty quickly, but then once it gets to like the sticking point, like that's where I give up. Like I'll get somewhat decent with something, and then I drop it because it starts getting tough.
I think a lot of people are like that for sure. I would I'd want to be able to carry a tune.
Singing?
I'm sing, yeah. I do a lot of things to help my voice get better. My job is talking on the phone. I do the podcast. I'm an announcer for a football league, tpcfl.com if you want to check that out. And I bought Rock Band just so I could do the songs, so I could sing. I could practice singing because I'm tone deaf, so I can't, like, I see where the tones are and like where the tune is supposed to, like what key I'm supposed to be in, but I don't know how to make that with my voice because I can't hear the difference, and it's really frustrating. So I'm hoping that by continuing to do it over and over, I can muscle memory train myself to do it without actually being able to hear the tones. Just like Beethoven could play the piano even though he couldn't hear.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sounds like you have a visual kind of sense. Like it's a little bit easier if you have a visual for what is going.
Well, I mean, it's the game it shows you like where you're supposed to be on the line, and if you raise your voice, it brings it up to actually match where it's supposed to be. So it's showing me whether I'm hitting the right note or not. So I'm trying to learn that way.
Okay, so it's like a biofeedback kind of thing where I guess that's what a teacher would do if you were there. But yeah. It's feedback, and you can kind of adjust with that.
Yeah, exactly. But people are like, just do the scales, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I'm like, well, I don't know, like, when did I go too high and wrap back around? Like, if I don't know, how am I supposed to? Well, just go up one at a time. Like, well, I don't know where one at a time is. It all sounds the same to me, so I don't.
If you had an instrument, that might help out a little bit, because like I can't sing very well, but when I do practice, I will play my guitar and I'll kind of sing the note and play it. I kind of play and sing the note, and you can kind of tell when you're in harmony, and that's a way to do it. But it's not like it's still not the easiest, and then you have to learn how to play the instrument.
I don't know. I don't know if it works like that, because like, let's say you're colorblind, right, and you can only see grayscale, and you have 6 colors in front of you and 6 little sticky things, and you like put the stickies on the colors that they match. Like, well, I can't tell the difference between the colors. No. Just you have the thing that it looks like, so just put it on the same looking thing. But if I can't tell what that color is in comparison to the other colors, how can I put it with the right color?
So the answer to that is disharmony. That's the feedback there, because it doesn't sound good. It's not that you're exactly identifying the pitches, but more you're identifying the 2 notes not working. Like I'll do a little example here. So it's like I have my guitar here, and if I play this note here, just like that sounds alright. And if I play something like that, so I'm playing 2 notes at the same time, both the same pitch, and they kind of harmonize. Now say that you try to sing this note like, but you try to do it like a little bit off. Or let's do this way. Like that sounds like really bad. And so if you play the note and kind of sing it, and it sounds like that, you're gonna be like that's off, and you're gonna go until it kind of sounds like kind of like that. So you try to just identify when you're in harmony with it, and rather you're trying to identify when you're not in disharmony, because when you're in disharmony, it's gonna sound terrible, kind of like that. And
speaking of terrible, these conversation starters have been awful.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
We've made them work, but I think that's more based on your skill of turning straw into gold than it is on the quality of these. So I'm going to write a letter to conversationstarters.com, and we should revisit it after they get their letter and see how they respond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's also not just me, but it's also something that we're both very good with. Most people aren't very good with like conversations, just random conversations. But me and you are always very good with like being open with like any kind of like topic people bring up to us, for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's some where it's like, you bring up like child molestation, I'm gonna slowly back away. But if most anything we bring up, though, we're willing to have a conversation about. Just
Here's my favorite conversation starter. We need to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, Pepin.
Yo.
Do you usually subscribe to entire podcasts, or do you look for specific topics?
Well, I try using the search function on my podcast player on my phone. It doesn't work too well. Try using Google. Google, it's not really set up for it, so I honestly have trouble.
Why don't you just use Listen Notes?
Listen Notes? What's that?
It's a search engine for podcasts that doesn't just search for the terms you're looking for in the title of the episode or the title of the podcast, but from inside the episode itself. Meaning if you're looking for a specific topic, you can find specific podcast episodes that are about that topic.
That sounds a lot easier than spending the hours and hours I have just trying to find exact right keywords to actually get it to bring up the episode. I mean, usually I just get like a million how to start your own podcast articles. It's really annoying. So that sounds a lot better.
Exactly. When you're looking for something to listen to, just go to listennotes.com, type in a topic you're interested in, and you'll get instant gratification, useful results. That's listennotes.com. Check it out now.